Episode 108, How to Find the Silver Linings in Life. Because I'm sure, Ollie, everything went exactly as planned on this move. There was no hiccups, no, right?
Oh my God. Yeah, not exactly what happened. One thing I did learn though is I'm never using damn movers again. I'm just gonna move all the shit myself because damn, they charged me a lot more than they quoted me for, that's for sure.
Well, because they have your stuff hostage. Like you can't say like, no, I'm not paying this, because literally they have your whole house in their truck.
Right.
What they
They got me.
why they said they had to charge you more?
Well, they gave us they quoted us an amount. It was like $2,400 at first, and then we're like, oh well, we're talking to these other companies, and like, okay, well, we can do it for this. And we gave them a list of items, and there turned out to be a few more things. So like 2 days before the move, they're like, was that the full list? Blah, blah. We told them a couple more things. They upped the price. And then when the movers got there and looked at everything, they upped the price like another $650. So it's just like, what? So we got the price risen on us twice. But like you said, it was kind of at that point we're like, well, we got to move, like, I guess.
Yeah, because you can't stop and go get a rental like a U-Haul by that point because you're already so far into it.
Exactly. And we looked at the price for the U-Haul from Colorado to Florida. It was $2,200. So we're like, damn, we might as well hire some movers. But yeah, lesson learned.
Yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good. Well, I'm glad you're there safe and sound. You found the beach and you're enjoying it already because we're still jealous.
Yeah, definitely enjoying it. You guys got a guest room anytime over here now, though.
Well, we appreciate it. So what do you think, Ollie? What is the obstacle, or what is the reason that we were dealt setbacks or obstacles in life to begin with? What do you think the purpose of that is?
I believe that the purpose of setbacks are for you to reevaluate what you're doing. You know, we get into, as human beings, we're very habitual creatures. So we'll find something that works for us, a habit, routine, and then we'll stick to that almost just automatically every day. You're doing the same thing, same job, same breakfast, same whatever. And when you have a setback in your life, it's really an opportunity to deeply analyze your routines, what you're doing, what your patterns are, whether that's a setback because things are not working anymore and it's time for a change, or perhaps it can be a setback that's outside of your control, that may not have anything to do with how you've structured your life. But there's so much opportunity in setbacks. You know, there's that quote, behind every setback is an opportunity. And I think when we look at, and we've had this discussion before, right, about not needing extreme setbacks or pain to make changes, but it's no secret that in so many highly successful people's stories, big setbacks and big failures are always ingredients to an amazing success story.
Yeah. So let's talk about that, right? Because as we prepared for this episode, one of the things that came to mind is Hollywood to me, like Rocky. The movie Rocky is one of the best movies ever, right? And people still watch it, even though it's like 30 or 40 years old now. And why do they watch it? It's not because he went undefeated or he had this easy life. They watch it because they identify with the struggle, right? He was working multiple jobs, training during the day, working at night. He lost some fights. He was overlooked. People didn't believe in him. And yet he comes back and do these great things. So why do you think it is that we want to watch people struggle and overcome that? We'll read about people that have struggled and overcome it. Shoot, we'll even go to churches or religious places where most of the message is about somebody who struggled and used faith and teachings to overcome things. Yet we don't want to look at our own obstacles and our own setbacks with that same light. We kind of get mad when we face these, but we love watching everybody else overcome them. Why do you think we're programmed that way, or or conditioned to not see our own struggles for the importance they are.
Well, I think deep down that we do, but sometimes it can be hard when it's your life. It's hard to really step outside of your own life and observe yourself and analyze yourself. And sometimes it takes a major setback in your life for you to actually do that, because we become so habitual in what's working, we become comfortable, and sometimes it can be hard to make yourself uncomfortable. So we put that we get that feeling from other people's stories, from watching other people overcome adversity from the comfort of our own home, right? Sitting on the couch, watching them on TV or laptop. But I think that the truth is we love watching that so much because deep down, that's what we want. We want that for ourselves as well, but only certain people, certain individuals who are truly committed to living their life with purpose, to achieving their goals, to achieving their dreams, who are willing to do the work, who are willing to be uncomfortable, who are willing to make sacrifices, are the ones that are actually going to have those rocky type moments and experiences in their own life.
I love it. You hit the key word I was looking for right there, my friend. That's sacrifice. We don't, I believe that this is my belief, that we don't see the value in our own story. We don't find the value in our own struggles because we're not willing to sacrifice what it takes to overcome it. Right? Just like you said earlier, we get into unhealthy habits or unproductive routines, and we know it's unproductive. We know it's not healthy, but we don't stop ourselves from doing it because we would have to sacrifice. Well, maybe it makes me feel good in the moment if I do this. We'd have to sacrifice extra sleep to get up and go on that walk or to go on that run. And I think that's truly, if you look at any of the stuff we look to for people that overcome great obstacles or great setbacks, they sacrifice something else to make that happen. Right. So I think that, to me, that's a big thing, is what are you willing to sacrifice? Yes, you've identified this obstacle in your way. You've identified this hurdle to get over, but are you willing to sacrifice and do the work necessary to get there? Because it's work, right? Like, why do we get in routines? Because they work for us. They produce whatever results we're looking for the most part, and they're easy. We just do the same thing all the time. We never have to think about it. But when that obstacle appears, now all of a sudden we're challenged. Our thought process, physically, we're challenged. Emotionally, we could be challenged. And are we willing to sacrifice something to get ourselves past it?
Yeah. And it can be really hard too, Jerrod. Like I've shared with you and with the community before that I have felt for many years now in my business that I want to be doing something more or even something different. And it would take the sacrifice of potentially losing the consistent streams of revenue that I have from my current business model, potentially losing all of the business relationships and networks that I've made with my current industry, all of these things. And it took something that was outside of my control, the PACT Act, of federal law, to really force me to, okay, now it's going to be more uncomfortable if I don't pivot now and potentially lose everything than it would be to start making some adjustments now. But that something that I've wanted on a level for a long time. I wasn't willing to make those sacrifices. So I think that's a big thing too, is your willingness, to really identify what it is that you're going to sacrifice and ask yourself, is this something that I'm willing to do? For me, for several years there, I was choosing something that was good, and primarily because I knew I was continuing to learn, continuing to grow from it, but wasn't willing yet to sacrifice. And sometimes these obstacles that are out of our control, I believe, present themselves, whether you believe that that's God, the universe, or whatever it is, to force you in a direction that you've been wanting to go, but just don't don't really know exactly how or where to start.
Don't you think that could be true of any obstacle?
For sure.
And to me, any obstacle could be a life-changing moment. I was sharing this with Taya, my youngest daughter. You know, she's about to graduate high school and getting ready to go on her own in life. And you know, we're talking about different things, and you know, she's like, "Well, what if I move to this place and I can't get a job, or I don't get the right job?" Or I'm like, "Hey, what if all that happens?" You know, like, just what about this example? What if on your way to start your new life in a new town where all these things could go wrong, your car breaks down in some little town? That's an obstacle, right? That's not something you want to have happen. But what if when the car breaks down, the mechanic you meet becomes the love of your life and fixes the car, and you get married and you have this amazing family with all these great adventures, and he becomes your partner? Like, it would be worth it. You wouldn't trade that obstacle for anything, because look what it, so we can see through that lens any obstacle every day if we choose. Right? Like, what if this guy, I go to the grocery store and I love to we talk about grocery store all the time. I got to actually shop after we record today, so it's crazy. But the crabby person, what if I actually look forward to getting the crabby cashier, and then I'm nice to him, and maybe that niceness is what makes them realize, hey, I got to quit being crabby to the next people. Right? Like, any obstacle, any setback, any discomfort, we can frame our mind to actually be excited for that.